So let's quickly chat about this new executive order that Trump just put out on March 25th, preserving and protecting the integrity of American elections. So as we all know, in a democracy, the right to vote is the foundation upon which all other rights stand. And when that right is systematically restricted, then democracy itself is over. And this recent order is requiring that birth certificates and government-issued IDs match, while simultaneously disqualifying driver's licenses as valid identification for voting. So this is a blatant attempt at voter suppression. This rule is going to end up stripping away countless people from voter registry, making it incredibly difficult, if not impossible, for many people to exercise their fundamental right to vote. And this is not just bureaucratic red tape, it's a calculated move to disenfranchise the most vulnerable populations. Now, who does this executive order hurt the most? Well, number one would be married women and trans individuals, because many women change their last names after marriage, and trans individuals often update their names and gender markers to reflect their identities. So if their birth certificate does not match their government-issued IDs, then they're going to be denied the right to vote unless they undergo a complex and expensive legal process to amend their documents. And this disproportionately affects women, the LGBTQ community, and anyone whose identity has had to change over time. Number two is going to be low-income citizens. Passports are expensive, right? And many people cannot afford the time or the money required to apply for a new special voter ID. Poor and working-class individuals often already face systemic barriers to civic participation, and this is just going to push them further out of the democratic process. Finally, number three, elderly and rural voters are going to be affected because many older citizens were born in a time where birth certificates were not as standardized or easily accessible. And rural communities where government's offices are really far away will probably struggle to comply with these arbitrary requirements as well. When voting becomes a privilege instead of a right, elections cease to be legitimate. By implementing restrictions that disproportionately impact marginalized communities, those in power can effectively choose their electorate rather than allowing the people to choose their leaders. And this is the first step towards a system where elections exist in name only, where votes are restricted, manipulated, and ultimately meaningless. And need I remind you that throughout history, authoritarian regimes have used very similar tactics to consolidate power. From the Jim Crow era voter suppression laws in the United States to recent restrictions in countries sliding towards authoritarianism, the playbook remains the same, right? Create bureaucratic hurdles, purge voter rolls, and ensure that only a few select have access to the ballot box. And this order follows that pattern, and if left unchallenged, then it will accelerate the erosion of democracy in the United States. This is not just another bad policy, okay? It's a direct attack on free and fair election. If this executive order is allowed to stand, then it will be the beginning of a broader campaign to make voting accessible only to those who align with the ruling party's interests. So, democracy does not die with a dramatic coup, but a slow erosion of rights masked as security measures. This is a massive red flag that cannot be ignored.